Hi, meteorologist Tony Petrarca in the Pinpoint 12 Forecast Center with a pinpoint weather alert. We have a lot to cover, so this will be a little lengthy, roughly over the next 12 hours. But here's where we stand with the continuation of the flood watch for this evening, tonight through Thursday, specifically through Thursday morning. This may get upgraded to a flood warning, but still a flood watch. Of course, the rain has started already. But the heaviest of the rain is later in the evening, especially during the overnight up until about daybreak on Thursday. So here's the breakdown for this evening now through about 9, 10 o'clock. The showers becoming a little steadier, a little heavier. Other than some big puddles on the roads, I don't expect any significant flooding at that time. As we take you into the overnight hours from roughly 11 o'clock till about 4, 5, 6 a.m., with flooding rain likely, slight risk, and we don't say this often, of an isolated, brief, weak tornado. And we'll show you the location of that in just a second. Again, the heaviest rain is after 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, up until about 6 or 7 a.m. So for your Thursday morning, heavy rain around daybreak, poor travel early. You're going to be watching rivers and streams. We're looking at the Patuxent River, which may go into at least minor flood stage sometime on Thursday. So if you live along, especially a smaller river or stream, that is something that we'll keep an eye on. As far as potential impacts, and this is all due to remnant moisture from what was once Hurricane Ida. So flooding, high impact, likely. That risk of an isolated tornado, kind of a slight to moderate risk at that. I think it's more the exception rather than the rule, but something that obviously you got to keep an eye on. And even the potential for some wind damage. Now, we're not anticipating extreme wind by any means, but, we may get gusts 40, 45, 50 miles per hour, and with the soil so kind of mushy and saturated, it doesn't take much to push a tree over, especially those trees that have shallow roots. And, of course, high travel impacts with all the rain and the flooding. So we're looking at Providence right now. We're taping this as of about 3:30, and we've got some rain and some fog, and that'll continue throughout the evening commute. Here's a satellite and radar composite showing for now most of the steadier, heavier rain is still off to our west, but this will be working through this evening and overnight. Here's the wider view, and this is remnant moisture from Ida. And that core of real heavy rain, in fact, you can see that the area of low pressure from what was once Ida right in here. Real heavy rain from Pennsylvania and just outside of New York City. And this is the rain that's headed our way during the overnight hours. So when we take a look at the forecast, and you can see here it comes. Now this is midnight. The red indicates some of the downpours, the torrential flooding rain. Here we are at about 4 or 5 in the morning, very heavy rain, and till up about 6, 7 a.m. But look how progressive the system is. It wastes no time pulling away. In fact, it would not surprise me if by 12 noon on Thursday the sun's coming out and drier air does settle in the second half of the day. So as far as rainfall amounts, a lot of our computer guidance has been consistent with general rainfall of about 3 to 5 inches. That's a lot of rain over a short period of time. And we do have some computer guidance that indicates maybe some isolated 6 or even 7-inch amounts. And that would create some significant flooding, poor drainage flooding, street flooding, river and stream flooding during the overnight. We take a look at, this is an excessive rainfall outlook. This is actually put out by NOAA. And it has a good chunk of Connecticut up until the Connecticut-Rhode Island border under a high risk of excessive rainfall, and most of our area in a moderate risk of excessive rainfall. As far as the tornado potential, the risk is, slight to moderate, but especially along the South Shore and southern suburbs, right in here, offshore, the islands, coastal Connecticut, southern Rhode Island. Now, this would be late night, overnight, and into early on Thursday morning. These tend to be brief, isolated, and weak, but the risk is there. We'll get in real close, and we'll step you through the forecast hour by hour. And you can see that heavy rain by 11 o'clock, and then overnight. And then here we are, very heavy torrential rain, 6 in the morning. And then watch how rapidly it's pulling away by afternoon and into the evening hours. So drier weather the second half of Thursday. Here's the hour-by-hour breakdown on for tonight with the heavy rain at midnight and towards daybreak. And just a stormy, well, this is late night, pre-dawn hours with flooding rain. And then here we are Thursday morning. with a soaking heavy windswept flooding rain, especially early. And then we've got drier weather coming in on the second half of Thursday. And here we go on our threat tracker, which is, medium this evening, but ramping it up to the high level during the overnight and into early on Thursday morning. So you definitely want to stay tuned to further forecasts throughout the evening and overnight.